Hey guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Bohemian, or just Bohemian Killing. It is a game that released recently on Steam, and it is one that I watched last year. I'm sure I saw the unveiling of this, or at least the trailer of this game, and it looked pretty damn cool. So if you go into options, we've got graphics, audio, controls, and language. And if you go to graphics, you can see that everything is on high. Can we move it to ultra? Or do we have to press the arrow keys? No, we can change it to medium, but obviously we'll keep it high. We go back and back. This game does not have controller support because, well, especially with the PS4 controller, because for some reason it just completely bugs out and your character is left spinning, so you're going to have to use the mouse and the keyboard. You can see that I did play a tiny bit of it, but I didn't really play it. I was just sort of watching it without the sound on, so I'm not entirely sure what the story's about. So, well, I have an idea from reading what they told me before I downloaded this game, but yeah, let's take a look. So this game adapts to the choices you make, which is kind of cool, and each lie can change the verdict for better or for worse. This is a judge type game, I guess, jury. It's pretty damn cool, the concept, so let's get into it. As you can see, we're in Paris on the 17th of October 1894, so it's set in the olden days, which I absolutely love games that are set in the olden days.
She should be here by now.
She should be here by now? What? Is this the beginning of the game? Okay, let's go back to my menu and see if we can get some sort of beginning. I swear last time there was a beginning to it, so let's see if we can do that. And that way we can actually
and at
see.
This time I announce a break. Take the accused back into custody.
Yeah, this happens every time you go back to the main menu. It's like, this time I announce a break. It's pretty cool. Okay. So let's go. Where did I go to options? Damn it. Let's go to new game. Setting a new game will overwrite existing game. Yes. I'm guessing that is the beginning of the game. But yeah, every time you exit or you come up with that, I guess it's time to take a break stuff. It's pretty cool.
She should be here by now.
Right, okay, so yeah, we're at the beginning of the game. Okay. So we can read a book, which gives us an extra 15 minutes time. So in-game time runs like real life, and it's important to arrange a reliable testimony. Now we cannot open this door, but we can open this door. And one thing I did notice when I played for about 10 minutes last time is the loading screens are quite often, so that may put you off. And the character models look quite funny. Other than that, though, the detail's pretty good, and the graphics, in my opinion, are pretty rock solid. Okay, press L and B, which is left mouse button. Look at the way her mouth moves, it's pretty funny. There we go. She did. The Moon Wars presents, starring Stephanie Gornegard, Bohemian Killing.
Monsieur Eaton. Monsieur Eaton.
What? Monsieur? What? Wait. And no loon screen. To be honest, it does detract a little bit, but it's not too much of an issue.
Monsieur Eaton, I'm talking to you. I'm sorry, Monsieur le Président, I was thinking. Do you understand the indictment? Sorry, but I have to ask the prosecutor to repeat. Monsieur Eaton, do you consider it to be a joke? You're charged with a serious crime. Please stay focused.
Did I do it? Was
Monsieur
it me?
Prosecutor, please continue. As I said, I accuse Alfred Eaton of murdering Marie Capet on the 17th of October 1894 in Paris. That day, Alfred Eaton was at the theatrical premiere of Prométhée, Vol du Feu, which took place at Opéra Garnier. As it is apparent from the testimony of witnesses, the accused left at about 8:30 p.m., before the end of the banquet. At about 9:25 p.m., he rented a room in his name at the Caucasus Hotel, which is adjacent to the building in which he lives. It was in that room that approximately at 11:16 p.m., Marie Capet was murdered. Next, the accused returned to his house, and at about 10:05 p.m., he entered his apartment in the company of Marie Capet, or let her in. It results from the fingerprint analysis. It did not show the victim's fingerprints on the outer side of the door, only on the inner. Alfred Eaton, by means of deception or threats, led the victim to his secret workshop, which is located on the first floor of his apartment. The police report did not indicate any signs of struggle or resistance. The accused probably wanted to test on Marie Capet the prototype of a torture machine of his construction, which was in the room along with medical tools and manuals.
Well, we know this is bullshit from what we just saw. Surely.
When Marie Capet realized what the accused intended to do, she grabbed a metal rod lying in the room and hit the accused on the head, which caused a real threat to his life and, according to doctors, may have caused unconsciousness.
Well, that's not true.
The fingerprints of Marie Capet's left hand were found on the rod, as well as Alfred Eaton's traces of blood. Traces of blood were also found on the floor of that room. At the time of his arrest, the accused had an extensive wound on his head, as confirmed by medical examination. Seizing the opportunity, Marie Capet fled from the apartment. She was stressed and in a hurry. This was confirmed by her numerous fingerprints secured on the inside of the door of the apartment of the accused. Then, Marie Capet ran into a nearby hotel, the Caucasus. It was the same hotel in which the accused rented a room.
Oh, maybe it's not
As
bullshit.
it appears from the testimony of the clerk, Marie Capet was extremely stressed, repeating the word doctor and police. Probably she wanted to call for help. When the clerk went to get some water to calm Marie Capet, she disappeared. The next day, on the 18th of October, about 8:32 a.m., a maid found her body in a room rented by Alfred Eaton. It was covered with numerous fingerprints of the victim and of the accused, and had traces of the victim's blood. The immediate cause of death was a severe blow to the abdomen in the liver area, with a blade of about 14 centimeters length. The murder weapon, constructed by the accused, was secured in his apartment. Marie Capet's unwashed bloodstains were still present on it, as well as the fingerprints of the accused. The accused is also charged by the testimony of one of the neighbors who passed the accused at the front door of the building in which they both lived at about 11:30 p.m. The witness testified that the clothing of the accused was stained with blood. Unfortunately, the said clothes were not found. At the time of committing the alleged crime, the accused was sane, which means he acted consciously. For committed crimes, the accused shall be liable to life imprisonment or the death penalty. Has the accused finally understood the indictment? Oui, Monsieur le Président. Does the accused plead guilty to the charges against him? Non, Monsieur le Président. Does the accused want to provide explanations? Oui, Monsieur le Président. Monsieur le Président, could I ask you for some conversation time with my client? Of course. I just wish it would not take too much time. We've already wasted too much of it. Monsieur Eaton, please note that you can look through evidence at any moment. It is available by pressing Tab. I will show the defense evidence to the court at the time of your uncovering during the testimony.
The lip syncing is terrible.
The prosecutor. If necessary, you can recall the string of events according to the prosecution by pressing the Q key. Will you need my help during testimony? I will give you my advice and remind you of important facts and events.
Do you want the attorney to help you during your testimony? Do we want him to help us? Nah.
We are ready, Monsieur le Président. Then let's get started. Monsieur Eaton, what were you doing on October 17th, 1894, from 8 to 12 p.m.? There was a theatrical premiere of Prométhée that day, which was sponsored by Le Feu, in which I am the lead designer. Starting at 7 p.m., I was at the premiere at the Opéra Garnier.
Is this it?
Around 8:30 p.m., after the play, I found that I did not want to attend the dull banquet, and instead I preferred to work. I said goodbye to Hugo Argent, president of Le Feu, and I drove home. I got there at about 9 p.m.
Right, okay. So now I guess we relive the events? You are not creating history, you are lying about what has already happened in Bohemian Killing. There are hundreds of possibilities. You can frame other people, lie, manipulate evidence, and witnesses plead guilty, or even act insane. So remember that... Let me read that again. Remember that during your testimony, you are not creating history, you are lying about what has already happened. Okay, right.
For a moment, I admired the charms of Montmartre.
Can we run?
I do not recall that part.
Okay.
I decided to go for an evening walk.
Wait, what the hell?
I entered the Café de Paris cafeteria. I wanted to drink some good wine and eat a piece of cheese.
I got beat up.
A group of Parisian rabble tried to throw me out, screaming that there was no room for gypsy thieves. They beat me and threw me into the street. I was all covered in blood. Did you report this fact to police officers? No, Monsieur le Président. I decided that it was not worth losing my time. And why is that? A second of my word is more important than the lifetime of each and every one of those plebeians. Besides, if I had reported it, I would have done them a favor. What do you mean, Monsieur Eaton? In jail, they would have had better living conditions than those holes that they call houses. I understand. Please return to your testimony.
Okay.
I tried to start the car, but it ran out of fuel. I already returned from l'Opéra Garnier on fumes, and there was no way to go anywhere else.
Does this say up here? More...
I looked at slogans inciting to the new revolution,
more riches.
written on the walls by the rabble.
We head in here?
Then I opened the gate. I opened the door and walked into the Caucasus Hotel.
I'm back to another loading screen. I mean, visually it's quite nice. There are some weird, oddly placed textures that aren't as detailed as other stuff. When you look at sort of the back of this sofa, even the leverette on the sofa, and then look at this. That's pretty cool.
Next, I threw a few francs to the fountain in the hotel.
Oh, francs. I remember those before everything changed to euro. That was a good currency. Let's speak to the guy on the desk.
Apparently, the clerk noticed my state, but the rules of savoir-vivre did not let him make any commentary. I wanted to rent a room in a hotel, but the clerk said that a room had already been rented in my name. He said it's on the top floor and gave me a spare key. I must add that the conversation with this man was not
Judge will
held
remember it.
at about 9:25 p.m., as according to his testimony, but at a different time.
Monsieur Eaton, do you claim that you did not rent that room?
Oui, Monsieur le Président, but I knew it could not be a coincidence. The name Ethan is not that common.
So you tried to learn more from the clerk?
Yes, however, he hid behind his professional secrecy. I knew he wouldn't tell me a thing.
I do not understand one more thing. You live next to the hotel, so why did you want to rent a room there?
Sometimes I meet up with some girls of the Moulin Rouge, and due to my reputation, I prefer not to do it in my apartment.
Did you meet Marie Capet face to face?
No, Monsieur le Président, never.
I understand. Please continue.
I know I'm staying pretty silent in this video, but I gather that I don't want to ruin all of the dialogue for you guys. At the same time, I don't really want to spoil anything either, so we won't be doing like
Next, I wanted to open the door to the restaurant, but it was closed because of the late hour.
we won't be doing the whole thing, obviously. We'll just be doing the first section. But you can see that there's just some oddly placed textures, because some of it's really quite good and detailed, and some of it looks really, really crappy, and it's disappointing, to say the least.
I called the elevator. I opened the elevator grate.
There's actually no... Is there a seam? Oh, there is a seam. We're on the top floor.
I took the elevator to the second floor.
I like the way they read it out, as if, you know, obviously you're the one being... you're the one on the stand sort of thing. I like the way it sort of coincides with that. It's pretty cool.
Then I opened the elevator grate.
I can't remember which room we was in though. I guess there could only be one room up here. I mean, some of it looks great. The lighting, I think, is really, really good and very sort of reminiscent of the times, I guess.
Then I opened the door.
Okay, and we were in this room.
I opened the door and entered the room.
Yeah, this is the room I was in.
Then I read cultural announcements.
Go to sleep 10 hours at the end of the testimony. Okay, that's pretty cool. May as well do that.
After the banquet, so I immediately went to sleep. I was even too tired to undress.
Is it all you want to testify, Monsieur Eaton?
Oui, Monsieur le Président.
And so I close the hearing. It is time to present your positions.
Okay, interesting. I mean, it says we're lying, but are we lying? I mean, is this guy really the killer, or... I'm confused.
Monsieur le Président, the accused tried to trick himself
See you later, mate.
the responsibility. He used cunning
Yep.
rhetoric, trying to hide more and more
All right,
of his new lie. However,
See ya.
in view of the evidence presented by the prosecutor, I have no doubt that Alfred Eaton, defendant who appeared today before the court, murdered Marie Capet in cold blood.
What?
Please, Let the High Court not be deceived by his tearful stories about a poor gypsy from the country who gained his success with hard work, and which Marie Capet so cleverly tried to destroy. It was the accused who destroyed the life of a poor girl and her family with full premeditation. And what did that poor girl do to deserve such cruel fate? She was searching for a better life, and was employed as a maid in the same building in which a dangerous psychopath lived. According to the prosecution, the accused is guilty, Monsieur le Président.
What?
Therefore, I apply for recognition of Alfred Eaton, defendant who appeared today before the court, guilty of all charges against him, and for imposition of the death penalty by beheading on the guillotine.
Oh, fuck off.
Monsieur le Président, Monsieur Prosecutor used a lot of high-flown words. However, during the preparation of indictment, he made many mistakes.
Yeah.
As to the hotel room, my client had rented the room in the Caucasus Hotel on the night of the murder. However, as he testified, he had planned a meeting with a prostitute, not to murder Marie Capet. As to the alleged attempt to use the torture device on the victim, my client did not intend to use his interrogation device, which the prosecutor describes as a torture machine, neither on Marie Capet nor on anyone else. It is important to emphasize the relationship of Marie Capet and my client. According to the testimony of the victim's parents, she felt a deep resentment and contempt, both for my customer and for his work and success. As to the meeting with Marie Capet in his apartment, my client has never met with Marie Capet in his apartment. We do not know where Madame Capet's fingerprints inside of that apartment came from. As for Alfred Eaton's weapon, please note, Monsieur le Président, that my client testified that he had not had the murder weapon on himself. The knife was in his secret workshop all that time. Everyone could have stolen it and then dropped it off. As for the murder, as my client testified, he did not kill Marie Capet. So, who did? As for the testimony of the neighbor who saw Alfred Eaton entering the building covered in blood, according to my client's testimony, that meeting had never taken place. So the witness made a false testimony. Taking into account the evidence from the neighbor's opinions, the witness might have had a motive, an aversion towards my client, and racial prejudice. Thank you, Monsieur le Président.
Okay. Certain parts of the game screen become black and white. It happens when a judge, standing somewhere near you, wants to ask you a question, you unlock a new defense evidence, or you leave the area of the current testimony. Wait, so I'm in the jail cell now?
Monsieur Eaton, the French Gypsy Association wishes to send you support and condolences for the persecution caused by your gypsy origin. We are aware that it was the main cause of your indictment. We offer you a safe
Indictment!
if you decide to leave the prison in less official way. One of our persecuted members, who had also been imprisoned in the prison de la Santé, mentions the decayed walls in most of the cells. Maybe you could use this information. Signed, X.
Decayed walls. Well, there's quite a few seams in these walls, as you can tell here, and obviously we can go to sleep. Well, that's pretty useless, no water in here.
Cher fils, your father and I are quite sure that you did not do it. You couldn't have. We love you, and we are waiting for you at home. Please, leave this cursed Paris and return to your home parts. Mama et Papa.
Mama, Papa, and it seems like the voice is the same as the other one.
Papa asks you not to mention the hotel guest book. Apparently you know what that means?
What? We don't have to read all of this stuff, do we? Let's go to sleep and see what happens.
Monsieur Eaton, please hurry. The court is ready to announce the verdict.
Okay.
The verdict on behalf of the République Française. The court, as present, hereby finds that Alfred Eaton, accused of murdering Marie Capet, is guilty of the charges against him, and sentences the accused to the death penalty by beheading.
We already did this, right?
The executions will be done in Prison de la Santé the next day.
Okay. Okay, what the hell just happened? Summary. Really? We did nothing. Well, that is a look at Bohemian Killing. It is out on Steam, and if you would like this sort of game, it's actually pretty cool. I'm probably going to continue to play it myself. Then check it out. It is out now. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. And as always, guys, I hope to see you very soon with another look at video. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.